Hello, one and all. So welcome to our Friday live website review stream. We're starting at 1 p.m. on Friday, so welcome to the stream. If you'd like your website to be reviewed, you just need to go to the form in the description below or in the comment if you're watching us on Facebook or on LinkedIn and submit your website for review and we'll review it live. We'll look at how to generate more traffic for your website, how to increase your leads, how to increase your sales. And today I'm joined by Bevan. How are you doing, Bevan?
Very well, thank you. How are you doing? It's a Friday, so always good on a Friday.
Yeah, actually, I love Fridays. I think they're a great day. I know like a lot of people want to get off early, and I might be the case today, but I just want to keep going. I just want to keep going and going and going.
You're a Monday person as well, then I'm guessing.
Oh, totally. Yeah. By Sunday, I'm raring to go. I just want to get cracking. Cool. So thank you everyone who's joined us today. I'd love to know where you're watching us from as well. So just drop your location in the chat. If you're new here and you've not seen the stream before, we're just going to look at a few websites that have been reviewed prior to the stream. And again, we'll just look for how we can increase their traffic and so on. But yeah, we've got some people joining us from Canada, Manchester as well. Great to have you with us. Right, so should we get cracking with the first site then, Bevan? You've got one open already, so I'm just going to swap over to that.
Brilliant. So first of all, we've got Little Lots, which is an office furniture store. What I'm going to do is just go through some of the basics. And I think one of the things that I noticed when I looked through this site is how we really need to work on professionalism and just the general look and feel before even we get into some of the more technical conversion rate optimization parts of the website. So as soon as we arrive here, we can see this isn't the highest quality photo to start off with. Also, we've got things like this where that gray text is going over that gray furniture. And then as we scroll through the website, we have this, which is just a little bit messy, I think would be fair enough to say. So we just need to go through the website, first of all, and just figure out what's going on here. I don't know if something's up with the way it's loading or whether it's, on my device, just a MacBook. So
no, I think I'm trying to make it look for me earlier as well.
So yeah, professionalism is that first box that needs to be ticked across this site. As we go through to the shopping pages, they're laid out correctly, and we've got these listings, which is fine. We've got a big, strong call to action for the add to basket, which is great to see. But just generally in terms of the website, the first thing we need to work on here is the quality of the site. Yeah,
I would agree. So yeah, I think it is a little bit. It's not quite like your classic e-commerce store in some respects. Like the homepage needs some improvement as well. Can we have a look at one of the product pages? I'd love to get your opinion on
that. So let's go and find. I think maybe open one before. Let's have a look. Got this tab here. So similar sort of story in terms of the product pages. We just need to be making sure that we've got more product images. Also, with these images, is very computer generated. Obviously, I haven't spoken with this company before, any review, so we don't know the full backstory, obviously, in terms of what the setup is in terms of the business model, but obviously that is not a real table. So what we need to be doing in terms of the product is making sure that we've got real product images. If I zoom in a bit, hopefully you'll be able to see on the YouTube video. That's obviously a computer rendered image, I think we could describe it as. So what we need to be doing is making sure that we're getting all the product photos up to where they should be. In terms of the rest of the product page, we've got little quality issues there as well, things touching things where they shouldn't. And again, even looking at things like the related products as well, we've got just two there, and then because what's happened here is the images are being uploaded, but this image must be rectangular like that, and that's a square image. So when they come to form the listings, you get this sort of all over the place. I think that's what could happen on other parts of the website. But I do really like the fact we've got the add to basket and that strong color there, which is really good to see. But definitely a lot of room for improvement in terms of the product pages as well here.
Yeah, I'd love to know what people in the chat think. So give us a rating out of 10, what you think to this product page. I'd love to see some suggestions of how you would improve it in the chat as well, so if anybody has any thoughts. Bevan, what are your first thoughts? What would you change on this page?
So in terms of this, what I'll be doing is having some, if I was to start from scratch pretty much, I'll be having some nice images. Then I'll be having, with this product, obviously this is, I believe in Rand. Not sure quite how much that is, but tables tend to be expensive, furniture tends to be very expensive. These are big ticket items. So what we need is a lot of images. We need a lot of high quality images. We need the option to be able to zoom in and see the finish and the detail in these products. So that's really important. And for all e-commerce products, photos really maketh the page and maketh the website, really. So it really needs to be very, very high quality. Then in terms of the description, we need to have a longer description. We need to be explaining the product very clearly. We also want to be adding some more details in terms of the company itself, obviously, and I will go, oh, so that's the menu bar as I swing my mouth around. So what we need to also be looking at is social proof. And I think we'll definitely talk about this a lot when we look through some of the other websites we'll go on to later on in terms of the lead generation websites. But social proof is really important. And even when you get through the product category pages, through the home page, and you're here, what we're still looking for is strong social proof at this point in time, just to push that person over the edge. Again, if it's a big ticket item, they might be a bit nervous in terms of exactly what this whether this is a legitimate company. And seeing stuff here like a Trustpilot review could be that thing that could be that extra little trust factor that would get that person over the line. So that's what I'd be working on to start with a page like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like more is obviously better. And when it comes to a high ticket item, you're not going to just, on the name alone or a singular image going to hand over a lot of money. And I expect that. I don't really know the conversion of Rand right now, but I expect that it's not just 10 quid for this table. Unless, of course, paying for a computer generated table, then maybe it is just 10 quid. It's maybe my Sims house. I'm not sure.
We don't know,
but yeah. Absolutely. I think I agree with Kyle, who in the chat here saying that the text in the background is similar, so it's not clear. And I couldn't agree more. In terms of visibility, like legibility, it needs to be the big separation between what it is you're trying to look at, that you've got black on white background, or in this case where it's gray, you need to go much, much darker with that text so people can read it with clarity and without any difficulty. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to buy something you can't learn about quickly or learn about at all. And I think I would say here that description wise, we just need more detail. I'm not sure if you can just scroll down there a little second, Bev, and see if we've got any specifications about measurements and stuff. It'd be good to see. Sure,
let's have a look. Description, that is the description, and then we've got one review. So no is the short answer. What we really need here is quite often there'll be a description tab, and then with a product like this, there'll also be the specifications tab. So that's what I'll be expecting to see here, the details of exactly what the product's made out of, as well as like the shipping details. Is it going to fit through the front door? So things like that are also going to be really, really important.
Absolutely. I mean, shipping is like the number one things I'm going to want to think about when, ordering something in such a large scale, like a table, especially when looking down some of those related products. They're way, way bigger than the table that you've seen. It's a lot, maybe a whole office suite you want to have ordered. What's the shipping like? Am I going to get it for free? Am I going to get it? Am I going to have to pay like a high amount? I mean, it's going to be a consideration that I go over when thinking about purchasing through this website. So again, more is better. Less is more is not really the case. It's more is more. You need more information, more background that they can go through and think, right, I am definitely going to settle on this product.
And particularly with big ticket items, isn't it? So the bigger the ticket, the more effort you have to go to give those details. And obviously, if it was a cheaper item, a T-shirt or something like that, it's going to be a lot shorter. But something like this, you really can't give too much information on a product page.
Yeah. So the problem that this website is having is actually that they're not having enough traffic. And I think that they definitely got to fix up the page so that when they do get that traffic, that they are able to convert it with more consistency and a higher conversion rate than they probably have currently. How would you recommend that this website acquire an increase in traffic going forward?
So as with many websites, the two main things you're going to be looking at is obviously organic traffic, or you're going to be looking at paid traffic. Paid traffic in furniture with a big ticket item like this is very possible because obviously you've got the margins to be able to enable that. So what we want to be doing there in terms of looking at this particular website, we want to be setting up probably something Google Shopping related is where I'd be starting. Particularly if this website has yet to careful how I word this again, I don't want to be too hard, prove its ability to be able to sell. That's what we want to do first of all. So you've got a product, you think people want to buy it, then you build a website. Maybe people bought the product before, maybe they also have a shop. So you know the product sells. The next stage is obviously building a website and having people come to that website. But what you need to do at that next point is prove if people are actually going to purchase that product or not. So one of the best ways of getting high intent users to use the website is obviously Google Shopping ads, because you are targeting people which are out there ready to purchase a product. So they're a great one to start with, and see what people do when they come to your website. And obviously here at Exposure Ninja, I talk to a lot of businesses that are just starting up, different sorts of products. Sometimes the products are really original, really different. And that's the advice that I regularly give, is that we want to figure out what people are doing when they come to your website. Are they interested in purchasing your products? And if the answer is no, if people are coming through from a Google Shopping ad, there's one of two reasons. It's either the value proposition of the product you're selling isn't there, or the website and the way you communicate the value of that product isn't there. So then if we're getting that traffic through and we're not getting the sales, we need to look and analyze which one of those two cases is a particular scenario with that website.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think that there are any paid social opportunities here? So could this website look at Facebook ads or another one of the networks as a possibility? Or would you say that they need to maybe head towards display ads, shopping ads instead?
Yeah, so definitely in terms of social media ads, there is an opportunity here. Just looking at where this website is at the moment, and they're saying they're not getting many sales at the moment, I'd like to start with that higher intent traffic, just because we can be much more confident in terms of, again, knowing people want to purchase from the website to start with. By all means, then once we've got a profitable campaign running there, one thing that, again, we do with our clients is we'll look at what other channels are going to be an option. But definitely looking at paid social media could be an option. There, I would like to see a very well set up organic social media to support any of the efforts going on there. But I primarily want to start with Google Shopping. And then once we get the traffic through, then we can look at the display retargeting through the Google network, what they can do there programmatically in terms of identifying the right users to re-engage and how often to display ads to them. It is really, really powerful. But of course, what we need to do to retarget effectively is have users coming to the site in sufficient numbers. So that's the main thing when looking at setting up a remarketing campaign. Sometimes people, from talking to them, I find are very, very keen on running remarketing campaigns. But the problem is they don't have any users coming to the website in the first place. So that's the first thing. We really need a larger percentage. And the way remarketing works in that sense is if you go after a smaller percentage of those users, because Google can identify which users are going to probably convert into sales, you're going to get a higher ROI. So if you're having to re-engage, let's say, you've only got a small number of users coming to your website, and then you re-engage 30, 40, 50% of them, it's probably not going to be that profitable. But if you've got a very large number of users coming to the website, then you've set the campaign up and you're maybe only engaging 5, 10, 15%. That 5, 10, 15%, Google will be identifying by all the millions of things that Google does in terms of looking at buying intent, looking at the horrendous amounts of data it has on you, me, and everybody. It can identify the most likely people to re-engage with, and that's when you get a very, very profitable remarketing campaign, when you've got a large number of users and you're focusing on the most high intent ones, or Google's focusing on the most high intent ones on behalf of you.
Yeah, that's some great insight in remarketing and the power of it, but also everything before it has to be set up absolutely perfectly. Otherwise, you're just throwing money towards ads that don't convert, or more importantly, don't bring an ROI for your digital marketing. Great. So hopefully that's been helpful for that website. We've got a whole bunch more. We're going to move on. Before we do, if you are new here and you've enjoyed what you've learned so far, just hit subscribe on the button below if you're watching us on YouTube, or if you're watching on Facebook or LinkedIn, just hit follow on there as well. Hit like, that'd be great. But then you'll see all of our future live streams as well. And if you are on YouTube or wherever you're watching, hit like on the post too. Hit like on this video just to show us that you've learned something today and that you want to help make this video reach more people. Would be great. So the next website, Bevan, if you want to move on to that one, we'll have a look and see what their problem is.
Yes, sure. Let's have a look. Let's go from e-commerce to a lead generation, so we don't have to go over too many of the same points. But this is green wheel cleaners. So
okay, before we move on, so yeah, the problem here is that they don't have enough leads, and I'd love to know in the chat how people rate this website out of 10. Is this 1 bad, 10 great? Where are we? How are we feeling about this website?
A little scroll through. Perfect.
So we're going for leads.
So in terms of this website, obviously it is a lead generation site, and what we want to be doing is getting people from A to B as quickly as possible. B obviously being that first step that people would take with a business. It's not something you buy online as a set product. What we want to be doing is just getting people through to that very first stage, and then me as the potential client would be able to talk to these people who are the experts in hassle-free and non-toxic commercial cleaning. So what we want to be doing is figuring out how to get them from A to B as quickly as possible. So in a website like this, one thing I really like is how they've got this welcome text here. I do want to expand on that and say that we can definitely improve this. But as soon as I arrive at the website, what I want to know is what you're all about. And I also want to know why you're the best option for me to be going ahead with. So I may be browsing through Google results. I may have come here through a PPC campaign. Someone might have sent me the link. Those are the two first things that I really want to have as that information. I first of all want to know, am I in the right place? And second of all, why should I be looking at your website in more depth here? So in terms of improving this, what I'd like to see in this above the fold part of the page, for those of you who don't know, above the fold just simply means before you scroll down on the website. What I would like to see is just a couple of lines of text about this sort of size, taking up probably all that space there. We can put that paragraph of text further down the page, and then it just briefly explains what the business is all about and what you do and why I should be finding out more. Then in terms of what else we've got here, before I scroll down too much, we've got these social proof elements, which are really, really great, these awards, and putting a huge focus on those is absolutely recommended. Again, as we were saying before, social proof can come in the form of many things: reviews, testimonials, awards, whatever that may be. And it's really important to get that over to you and your clients. Sometimes when I review websites and then I get on the phone to business owners or marketing managers and I ask them, could you give me a little bit of information about your business? And what they explain to me there actually sounds so much more exciting than what I can see on the website. I'm like, grief. If you had told me that, on your website, I would have a much higher opinion of you and your business at the moment. And that is not how we want to be doing it, to wait until people get on the phone to you to figure out why you're so great at what you do. So definitely putting a huge focus on that from the very moment people arrive on the website is really, really powerful.
Yeah, I think one of the best conversations any company could have is with their sales team or directly with the customers to say, what is it? What are the queries that what kind of questions are they asking to get to this website in the first place? What kind of questions are they asking you during the sales calls that we're clearly not answering on the website in the first place? Are we not covering, in our case, which services we offer, who does what within each of those services, what kind of budgets are required to run PPC or remarketing and stuff like that. In this case, maybe not enough USP. I mean, like those kind of badges there, top 3, that's actually really, really nice. But, maybe we could go further with the USPs, take away some of this text and just be more concise. And I think it was Richard in the comments was saying that the book and quote button, which is in the top right hand side, is so tiny. It's actually really hard to miss, and we want a big fat button almost as soon as you drop on the page. Or Bevan, perhaps you've got a better suggestion than a button. This is something else we could try above the page.
So that's a really good point. And again, credit be due where credit be due. We do have this book of quotes, which is up the top there. Also, the thing I really like about this site, by the way, is it's got a sticky menu bar. This does 2 things. It's going to allow me to navigate to wherever I want, no matter where I am on the website. So in turn, that's going to reduce that bounce rate, increase the number of pages viewed, which is really, really important. But in addition to that, it keeps that book of quotes, though, yes, very good point. It is not where we want that button to be in terms of the level and how engaging it is.
It'd be 10 times the size there as well.
Exactly. But it is always there, which is really, really good to see. So in terms of what works really well for many of the clients that we've worked with in the past, we've built a lot of websites from scratch. We did a lot of A/B testing and conversion rate optimization on existing sites, is actually embedding a form here above the fold. So again, we're going to link that form to that first high value call to action. The call to action should be high perceived value, low perceived risk, and it should be advertised consistently throughout the website. So obviously we've got a really good example on our website, which is a free website review. So that is going to be repeated throughout the website. We're very proud of that. And throughout all the Exposure Ninja website, we are constantly reminding that's an opportunity because it is of high value to the people who arrive at our website. And likewise with this, that wasn't a shameless plug.
Request a marketing review right up there. You can do it. It's even here.
So in this case, what I'm getting is a quote, which is still very high value to me because obviously I have something that needs solving, a problem in this case, which is going to be I need commercial cleaning done. And that price is going to be really important, whether I'm someone that's reporting back to my manager, whether I'm doing the budgets and I'm trying to figure out what's going to be possible and how much this is going to cost. That's some information I need, of which this company is going to provide me with. So I really like the fact that is linked to that. But what I'd also be doing is, as I said before, putting that form here above the fold where people can arrive at the website. Of course, we're going to be consuming that strong welcome text and that social proof that we mentioned before. Have a flick through, see that it covers water-fed pole window cleaning, which was exactly what I was after. So with that information in mind and safe in the knowledge that these people are the top 3 in Victoria, I can scroll back up there, fill that form out with just the very basics of information. Sometimes I do see this go wrong, where people ask for a huge amount of information on these forms. What we want to be doing in this case, because all we're doing is taking that person from that state of arriving at the website through to having a conversation. We don't really need much information at all. We just need the very basics. And in turn, if we keep that to the very basics, we're going to have the highest possible conversion rate off the back of that. So that's one thing I'll definitely work on putting on this website here for sure.
I would love to see further down the page. So we've got that CTA in the header. We've got it just beneath these badges as well. One thing we talk about in all of our streams is about repetition of the CTA. And as you said there, our CTA is pretty much everywhere across our website, in our blog posts, everywhere. I'd be interested to see how many times it's repeated just within the same page, because we always talk about, people scroll down, they get the 50%. Mark, and then they might leave the page. So it's great to have a CTA there as well. And then at the end of the page too, if it's a very slim percentage, normally gets to the bottom of the page. But can we just have a look to see if the CTA is repeated throughout this page?
I believe it is. So let's have a count. So we've got that in the menu bar up there. Then we've got 1. We'll count the ones on the page itself. So we've got 1. Oh, maybe I was a bit. 2.
Yeah, good.
3. So 3, which isn't bad. I would go for 4 probably on a website like this. And also what I've been doing here is I'll be putting these call to actions in a completely contrasting color. It's really important to do so. And the way I describe it quite often when I do my videos is you should almost be able to blur your eyes, not really consume the text and information on the website, and still be able to go through and complete the call to action task on the website, just because of the focus, the sizing, the positioning, and the color of those buttons. Those are clearly the buttons I need to click. You don't know what they do because you're not reading the text, but you just know from just a general look that those are the key buttons. So that's what I definitely be doing here, is putting those call to actions here in a contrasting color. And it doesn't have to be glary or in your face or tacky. We can, there's many ways of using color schemes, of which is beyond me and my creative abilities. But it is a really, really important thing to be putting a focus on those call to actions and really telling people where to go on your website.
Absolutely. It's giving people an opportunity to not mistake what it is that you have on offer. Like, no matter what they do, there's something in conversion rate optimization as an industry, as a service. They have a 5-second test where they show you a page for 5 seconds, close it, and then say, what do you remember from the page? Or what was it about? Or what was the call to action? And you want to kind of do the same thing for your website and see, like, okay, 5 seconds. What do I remember after that? Or get somebody else who doesn't know your website as well as you do to do the same kind of thing. What do you remember from this page? And if it's not call to action or your main heading of what it is you have on offer, whether that's a free consultation or a strong heading tag, the title, whatever you want to call it, you're going to have to start pretty much from scratch and just make sure that, it's really evident as soon as you get on the page what it is that you're offering. And just before we continue, somebody in the chat, I can't remember, I think it was Kyle from for the previous website, was saying, would a live chat be useful in this scenario for the furniture sales? Definitely would. I'd actually be curious to know your opinion on live chat for this website, Bevan.
So yeah, for this website, 100%, I would say for lead generation websites, even more important. And obviously, given the value of the ticket value of the item for lead generation, it's going to be much higher than if you're selling e-commerce products. And sometimes e-commerce, so I would completely recommend them putting chatbots and options like that on a website. I can see the other side of it from an e-commerce. If you're selling t-shirts for £15 and you're getting a large percentage of your clients wanting to have a conversation with you and ask questions about this and that, it's not the best use of time necessarily. But with a lead generation website like this completely, I'm sure the contracts are worth a huge amount. And in turn, what we want to be doing is making sure that we're getting as many people interacting with the business as possible. And it's definitely worth the time and effort for that reason completely.
Yeah, I think thinking about, as you say, the high value and its leads thereafter, changing from book a quote to book a free consultation could be already a big step. That's more likely to increase the conversion rate, even by 0.5, 1 or 2% could be a huge increase, for, depending on how many visitors they're getting from this as well. So yeah, I think there's a lot to learn for this website. There's a lot of things that we could continue to recommend. If this person hasn't requested a marketing review, you can request one at explosionninja.com/review, and we'll be more than happy to record one of our 15-minute website review videos, send it across, and we'll give you as many ideas as we can about how to increase your leads. Cool. Should we move to the next website? So I don't know which one you have lined up next.
I think we're going to go back to an e-commerce site. I think we might even be able to do e-commerce lead gen today. So
their problem is not enough traffic. Love to. Before we continue with this one, I'd love to know in the chat, opinions out of 10. How strong is this website? How good is it? Would you purchase from it? 0, no, you're not going to purchase. 10, you're going to purchase it. You love this website.
Let me just scroll through that. Perfect. So in terms of this website, much tidier than the first e-commerce site that we looked at completely. It's obviously, even without double checking with built with, I'm definitely going to say this is a Shopify site. I'll make an idiot of myself if I'm wrong here. And I am making an idiot of myself. Would you look at that? It's a WordPress site. So it's a WordPress site built on WooCommerce with a very Shopify look and feel.
Yeah, agreed.
The header bar up there, that always tends to be a big giveaway for a Shopify site. So really cool. It's a WooCommerce site, which is slightly superior to Shopify than for SEO, though I'm just thinking of the conversation this is in the chat here. Many of articles and many of experts have opinions on those things, but I think here at Explosion Ninja, we would say that WordPress has a slight advantage, particularly when it comes to blog content and being able to post things like that, definitely compared to Shopify. And obviously blog content can make a big part of an SEO strategy for sure. So for that reason, really great to see this website built in WordPress. So in terms of the website itself, just some very basics. That sticky menu bar, which I was complimenting the other site for, we're missing it here. And I'd also be looking at having some strong welcome text as well. I don't want to repeat myself, but these things definitely would be really great to see on this website. In terms of how we can get more people to it, again, definitely looking at shopping campaigns is going to be really good. Of course, it does depend on the margins. Many of these industries are very competitive. And for that reason, you've also got to be confident in terms of your spend level that you're putting in with these campaigns. So sometimes, people just want to put a couple of £100 into a shopping campaign, but actually to break even, the way it works is you do need a certain level of budget that you're going to be spending with Google to be able to make that campaign profitable, to work at that scale. So I think with a competitive market like this, they would have to be investing a fair amount in terms of Google shopping. But again, that would be what I'll be looking through to. It's going to be a very, very competitive market in terms of SEO. If you've got the resources to be able to invest in that, it's always an option. And also being sure to try and focus on your niche is going to be very important if you do want to go down the SEO route.
Mm-hmm. What kind? When we talk about SEO, and as you say, WordPress is definitely definitely an advantage when it comes to blog content, adding copy onto the website and guides, stuff like that. I completely agree. What kind of content angle would you approach with this website?
Very good question. So in terms of this, given the nature of the products, they all tend to be these very genuine, quite $200. High price toys.
That's just the washing machine as well.
Is it a real washing machine?
No, it's just a wooden washing machine. The rest of it is, I think that you're literally just getting the washing machine. The other two pieces must be separate. It must just be a contextual image.
How much does a real washing machine cost? Second hand.
About the same.
Play with that for days, couldn't you?
I think a wooden one's a bit safer with kids, though.
That is true. Yeah, the cat's not going to get hurt if it gets put in the wooden one. Sorry, content in terms of what we'd be focusing on for a business like this. So here, yes, just general blog content, getting those sort of things done is going to be really important. But a lot of what we would describe as more evergreen content that's going to be relevant continually. And I'd really like to be focusing on a lot of kids development articles. So how can we use toys to bring out the best in education, and also how these toys are maybe better options than the sort of high street toys that you find, and what is going to be, we'll have to, first of all, with any content marketing strategy, we'll be doing that keyword research. With a business like this, one of the good starting points is actually to look at what their competitors are doing, and seeing what sort of articles they're writing. And then we can also see what sort of articles have got the highest amount of traction. And then working from that can actually start building what we begin to do in terms of our content marketing strategy. And then basically building a way to outrank and outcompete those businesses in their traffic that be coming through. And that traffic is good traffic for two reasons. It's going to be traffic coming through to the website because people, it's saying it's good for SEO purposes to have traffic coming through to the website and showing Google that your website is a resource on the internet. But it's also very important as well to be engaging with people at the very top of the funnel, so we can get high volume terms, and as well as we're ensuring that content which is written on the website is engaging enough and still funneling people through to where they should be going on the website and introducing the products. Then it can also be a way of generating sales as well.
Yeah, I would say that I've got a 19-month-old at home, and I've gone to websites similar to this several times over the past year or so. And I think like gift guides are a great idea, because not only are parents looking for like educational toys or wooden toys for 6-month-old, 1-month-old, and all this kind of like age groups, you've also got like grandparents or other family members, friends who are like, oh, I know I shouldn't get anything plasticky. What can I look for? Like wooden birthday gifts for boy, or Christmas educational gifts for 1-month-old, or something like that. And you can pull people in that way, as you said, and just direct them straight to the products, rather than a lot of the gift guides that rank on Google are often on like parenting blogs or parenting websites and stuff like that, and they're linking through to Amazon. This way you keep everybody internally within your site and just kind of go straight from the gift guide onto the product page, and from the product page you link through to very similar products, or you can link through to other gift guides which relate to those. So you could have like a row of related products, and then beneath that a row of related blog content or gift guides or educational stuff. So you just keep the cycle of people just channeling them through your website. That'd be definitely one way I'd go. And paid social as well. I actually think this would be a really good one. I mean, Google Shopping would be huge for this. But I think paid social should be really good as well. I know like Instagram specifically, maybe even like an influencer campaign would be great too. And I've seen that again from seeing like parenting Instagram accounts. They're often like showcasing toys from brands or from e-commerce stores, and people with, when they have a strong audience will navigate through to that website. So you could try something like that, an influencer marketing campaign, or just a straight paid social campaign. So a parent scrolling through Facebook could see a wooden washing machine and think, oh, actually, I'd love that for my kid. That's exactly the kind of like thing that I would get. It's wooden. It's, it's not plastic. It's safer than the real washing machine. You're more likely to attract somebody's attention with something like that because of the kind of person that's on that social network than somebody scrolling through their Facebook feed or Instagram feed and seeing an office chair. Are probably less likely to be like, I'm actually socializing right now. I'm not thinking about work. Whereas a parent is almost always thinking about parenting all their kids. So yeah, I definitely recommend paid social, organic social, influencer marketing would be a really great opportunity for increasing traffic there. Anything more to say about this website?
I do want to quickly go through the product page here. So a couple of things. So the problem with WooCommerce, but the thing with WooCommerce is you've got to do it properly. Shopify will help you do it properly very easily, and things will look tidy. The buttons will be in the right place, and everything will work seamlessly after 10 minutes of work. So if we have look at this, we've got this sort of double bar that looks so strange. This is the header. This is just an additional bar containing shopping features, so the account functionality and the checkout basket. And then below that, we've got the menu bar with the products itself. So a couple of things here. So obviously, this is just a bit messy having these 3 bars up at the top there and begin to eat into the page a lot. Also, if we look at here, the logo goes extremely small. That text is completely illegible from where I am now. And I won't move my face any closer to the webcam just for the sake of the watchers. But I can't make that text out at all there for the logo. So what we need to be doing is tidying this up, looking at the functionality, looking at the user experience as people go through the website and how they're able to navigate back to the homepage, for instance, and all those things. In addition to that, when we look at the product page, so it's good to see we've got different products here, but a couple of things are weird. We've got just a square here, which I feel should do something when I click on it. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it looks broken, doesn't it?
So if it's an arrow, it should be an arrow. If it's allowing me to navigate, it's just a bit strange there. Also, when we look at the images, this is a great image. Obviously, hang on, there it is. And this is also a great image as well. This image is not great. And obviously, again, the ticket value of these items is really important and proportional to how much quality there should be with the images and with the website listing and all those things as well. I'm not saying if you've got cheap products, you need tacky images to go along with them, but the more, if it's $200 product, everything needs to be very high level. And just by having this outside here, surrounded by the weeds,
not great, is it?
It looks like you've chucked your washing machine out because you're done with it and you're waiting for someone to take it away from you. So
and let's not forget that this was $250 before. It's been reduced to $200, so $250 even more so. I'm like, okay, I'm not spending £250 on that. Exactly. It looks secondhand, really, in that photo.
Exactly, completely. This looks like an eBay listing, but a very unprofessional eBay listing photo. So that's what we want to be doing here, and I'm sure people watching would definitely agree. We want to be working on the quality. In terms of the product description, it seems pretty good. We've got some measurements there as well, super important that we're missing from the previous website. And then here in terms of the reviews, there's no reviews there, so it just seems strange to have such a big focus on reviews when there are no reviews. Having that as something that would just tidy itself away if there's no posting would be great. And also the related products seem a little bit odd to me, just because this again, I haven't looked at the full range of this website, but I would imagine that there's products that would be more similar to this particular product, and you can have great plugins on WordPress and great plugins as well on Shopify that will actually use the data of what people purchase on your website to help recommend the most relevant product. And I don't think that's currently being utilized at the moment if we're going from a $200 washing machine, wooden washing machine, to a yoga bug book. So I just feel like that's slightly strange there as well. So I think there's definitely improvements to be made with this product page as well.
Yeah, I agreed. I think some of the stuff on the side, the product categories, it just looks like a really awkwardly converted blog. And it doesn't feel completely e-commerce to me, which kind of takes away some of that trust factor. And again, if I'm spending 250 Australian dollars, then I need to feel like I'm being, I can trust this website completely. And again, on the column on the right hand side, they've also got the recommended products. I think they had a few recommended products at the bottom. I think it's on the right hand side. They're so small that I'm probably not going to even glance at them for more than half a second.
I missed them completely. I did not glance at them. Also, strange things happening here. Why is the price below there, and why is the price below the image on this one? Again, if you're going to do a WordPress WooCommerce site, you've got to make sure that it's being professionally managed, that you're keeping those plugins up to date, and the quality is really there. So I think that's something to be learned from this as well.
Couldn't agree more. Okay, great. So that's some ideas for that website. And again, if the person managing this website is watching, hasn't had a review, please go to exposureninja.com/review, and you can request a 15-minute video recording of your website. Not just a recording, but we'll actually tell you how we can improve your traffic, leads, and sales. Great. So we've got a couple more websites to have a look at. Which one's next up? And let's have a look and see what their problem is.
So let's have a look here. So we've gone through that site, have some additional pages up. So we've got water systems for you.
Right. Okay. So the problem here is that they're not getting enough traffic. So in the chat, I'd love to know, marks out of 10, what do you give this website in terms of how likely it is that you're going to convert when you get onto it, or just how much you like it? And if you see any ideas of how you would improve traffic for this website, I'd love to know them. So, Bevan, what do you think? How are you going to improve traffic for this website?
So, again, here, what we haven't actually discussed with our other websites. Should I go over conversion rate optimization first? Or
let's go for conversion rate optimization.
There are things to be said. So having a look here at the website itself, there are some good things. Sticky menu bar, always like a sticky menu bar. We've also got some contact details here above the fold, which is nice to see. The problem with both of these contact details is they're not set up for click to call nor set up for click to email. So we really want to be making sure that's set up correctly. So as I hover over this should bring up the option for me to make a call over my VoIP system at the moment because I'm on my laptop. But if I'm on a mobile device, really important that that's being set up well for ensuring that I'll just be able to click my mobile device and get through to someone. Again, some strong welcome text. That's what you do. But why are you the best option? Is it the price? Is it the quality? Is it the customer service? We need some additional social proof as we go through the website. I think there are some reviews further down, if I remember correctly. There's not. So definitely putting some reviews here is going to be important. Also, I don't know if it's quite as visible on the YouTube screen grab, but the sizing is different considerably between here and here, which is a quality control issue. Again, people are going to be judging the quality of your service, of your products, based on the quality of your website, which is completely not fair, by the way. Just because you happen to have a really good web designer doesn't actually mean your products are any better, but people will be judging the quality of your products and the service that you provide on the quality of your website. So we definitely want to be working on improving that as much as possible. And also we want to be looking at how we're funneling people through or water pun.
Those images, Bevan, sorry.
Are those like the whole thing? Yes.
The ones you're looking at right now. So is that an image? Can you try and drag it? Or is it text? That's image. Okay, well, that's awful. That's bad for SEO.
Very bad for SEO. So that needs to be improved. We want to have people going through to the right areas. So there's a lot of work to be done on this website for sure in terms of that user experience when they arrive at the website itself. If we want to, sorry.
I was just going to point out, two things. Just flashed up Charles' comment on the screen. So he says, don't like the font too. Does not seem to fit the professional website. So yeah, it does look like Comic Sans, which I think Richard said in the chat as well. Does not scream professional website to me. But also with, just to expand on that part about the images and, that text boxes being images. Google can read images, don't get me wrong, but they don't read them as well as text on the page. Like their robot crawls the website, every website, crawls the internet, and gathers information and sees like which words are being written about, and then which keywords are being used, and they match those to search queries. It doesn't do so anywhere near as well with images. It's getting better. It's better than it was last year, better than the year before, and tomorrow will be even better. But it is not as good as you need it to be if you're trying to rank your website for high-value search queries. So they need to be transferred or changed to actual text on the page as soon as possible.
Completely. Yeah, exactly. I think from an SEO point of view, and if this website is having a problem with traffic at the moment, it clearly shows that SEO is going to be something they want to focus on. So things such as that are going to be really, really important. I think someone mentioned something about the font as well. I completely agree. It's sort of very handwritten style, and it just doesn't match the business. If we were on the previous website that was looking at kids' toys, by all means, go ahead. But if we're looking at water dispensers, we've got to have something more quality focused. So obviously, focusing on SEO could be a really big part, I think, in terms of just general SEO. It's not going to be a super competitive market, which is really good. So I think, you'd be able to make a substantial difference to the website over the next 6 to 12 months with a sizable SEO package. That would be really good. But another option in terms of getting people through to the website is to look at Google Ads. So in terms of those, what we would be looking at doing is identifying those keywords that we've set up in terms of what people are searching for, how competitive they are, what's the volume, and then defining a cost per acquisition that we'd want to be working towards. So quite often people don't have a cost per acquisition figure. So I'd really encourage all businesses which are lead generation to really work on having that very defined. Even bigger businesses, obviously they just want it as low as possible while still trying to maintain scale. But that's not very useful when people come to us and they're like, can you run a campaign? What's your cost per acquisition? As low as possible.
I don't know.
I don't know is normally what we get. And then quite often we have to do a bit of a thought experiment, be like, right, how much of the revenue on one of your sales? How much of that is profit? And then if I was to bring you that sale, how much would you pay me pretending to be Google, to bring you in that sale? And it's also really important, if we're working off that, we can get quite accurate even in terms of forecasting if we've got data such as the conversion rate on the website, and then also looking further down that in terms of how many people are actually going to convert into a sale once they've inquired at on the website. So if you work back from there and you've got the profit margins, you can begin to calculate some quite accurate forecasting numbers, which can be really good in terms of business planning.
I'd be curious to see what kind of prices we're looking at for some of these water dispensers. So would you mind just having a look?
I had one open here from before. They're quite pricey.
Right.
But also, what was interesting here, and this is something I really wanted to go through today, was in terms of a website like this, it's an e-commerce store is what we're looking at effectively, Dale. It's a site. I can put the basket. We've got this in a contrasting color, which I love. We've got a discounted price, which is saving me £123, which is brilliant.
Nice.
But I would imagine that there are many people that probably just want a water fountain. They know what they're here to buy, and they go ahead and they purchase it. Brilliant, and we don't want to stop that happening. But there's also going to be a large number of people which they're refitting the water fountains in their school. That's going to be a large order, and I'm probably not going to come and place an order for 10 of these and spend 5,000 odd without having at least had a conversation with this company. And also, I feel like maybe if I was buying, like 20, 30 of these, I'd probably want some additional discount service package chucked in with it. So what we also want to be looking at doing is not only thinking about how this website is as an e-commerce store, we also want to be ensuring that it's a lead generation tool as well. And we've got some of those lead generation elements that we've spoken about on previous websites as well. So I'd really like to see an option for that as well.
Yeah, just two things. I would say that I really like those also available for this product thing. So, drinking fountain in high volume installation. So automatically ticking that is kind of a good idea. You want to make sure that it's easy for people to kind of, I would have like a little icon info icon so people can see like what that is without maybe leaving the page completely. The watercolor, the 12-month professional thing, that was actually good to see as well. That free UK mainland shipping, that should be in the USP bar at the top of the page always. I saw it earlier, but I should be seeing it now too. So if you scroll all the way up to the top there, Bowen, yeah, you can see free UK delivery on orders over £50. Make sure that's always visible. It doesn't have to take up a lot of screen space. Let's not forget that most people's website, when they're doing this kind of search, they're probably going to be doing it on a desktop, not a mobile device. I don't expect that people are doing this kind of, they're at the office. I imagine most of these products are being bought for an office or educational institute or something like that, as you say. They're not going to be doing it on their phone whilst on the sofa watching, I don't know, Bake Off or something. So you can rest assured that you can use a USB bar. It's not going to take up too much space. They've got the space. And then you can also, if you just scroll again down just a tiny bit, you've got just the contact us link there, which is just, it needs to be bigger, brighter, more specific, book a quote or get a quote or something really, as you say, like if I'm ordering 20 of these, I'm not adding them to a basket. I want to speak to someone. And like, if they're not clicking that in the header, then it needs to be within those options there next to add to basket. So in a completely different color, do like a blue button that says get a quotation or book a call, or, book maybe quotation, get a quotation is probably the best offer there. I know there is a fear factor in that I'm offering too many people too many CTAs, but if you contrast them in that way, people can do one of the two things. They can just purchase and not consider the other one, or they can just get exactly what they need at that moment in time. So yeah, just a few tweaks here. I don't think anybody's telling their friends about this. I don't know why they need to tell a friend button, so get rid of that. And just replace it with a get a quotation button instead. But there's a couple of things to like about this. I don't know. We've got just a few minutes left. Maybe we can just very quickly squeeze in another website.
Yes, let's have a look at what we've got. I've actually done a review for Created by Magic. So Created by Magic, if you're listening, hopefully I raised enough points there, so I won't go through any more now. So we've got a car buying website and a review for them as well. Let's just find something that's maybe, what was that car buying website? Let's have a look.
Vinny buys cars, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
And their challenge at the moment is they're not getting enough leads.
Cool. Perfect. That tends to be a bit of a theme, doesn't it, today, Dale?
Yeah, it really does.
People want leads and traffic and ultimately sales. And just a point on that. So obviously, in terms of SEO is everything to do with what's on your website, what's off your website. So it's really, really important to obviously be focusing on that. And that's primarily what our SEO packages would focus on. But also, as well, conversion rate optimization is an SEO ranking factor. Google isn't just looking at your website, your backlinks. What it's also looking at is actually what people do on your website. It knows what people do on your website. So if people are coming to your website and they're hitting that back button, Google thinks it has provided a result of which has not answered that query question, provided that resource. So if we actually improve the conversion rate of these websites, we improve the professionalism and we get people clicking on more pages, interacting and actually purchasing, Google begins to take notice of that as well. So I think when obviously today we have talked a lot about conversion rate optimization, but that is also an SEO ranking factor to focus on as well.
Yeah, I would say with this website, I'm just going to share my screen in a second, just change it over. I'm going to just compare this in terms of like lead generation with obviously the most obvious comparison that I can think of, which is WeBuyAnyCar.com. So let me just see if I can open up this, the original Vinny Buys Cars, and we'll just put them side by side and we'll just say, okay, which website are you going to look at? You're going to look at, let's just move that across there. So Vinny Buys Cars doesn't look particularly well optimized. It just like this blue bar, I don't know what's going on here. I mean, I can change the sizing, so maybe we get we're looking more like desktop
responsiveness, isn't it?
Yeah, that's going to be a problem. I mean, like somebody looking for like car pricing, like how to sell their car, is probably going to be doing so on their mobile device more so than desktop, just because it's something you can do on the sofa whilst you're watching a film. But just a comparison between like We Buy Any Car, very, 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 very simple idea of what it is that they want people to do. The options at the top here for Vinny Buys Cars are not probably what I'm going to look at straight away. I can see those later on. Terms, conditions, why choose Vinny Buys Cars? Yeah, it's good to be able to see, but the only thing that you want people to do is this, to enter their registration. So you should clear up this and just make it the only focus, make it easy to read, make it easy to understand that this is the first step that I need to do. And if we look at, let's just put these up together now. We Buy Any Car, it's very obvious what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to enter your reg, enter your mileage, and that's it. So I can see a car outside my window right now. So let's just put it in. Sorry, whoever's car that is. Value my car. Cool. One step. Only another step to go. Enter my email address, postcode, mobile, get my valuation. Really, really simple. We've got that social proof of Trustpilot saying 90,000 customer reviews. That's strong. I mean, they're very fortunate at the fact that they have a very strong brand already, so that maybe they don't need to. Let's get rid of that. Maybe they don't need to put too many USPs on here. They don't need to put lots of social cues. They've got the steps all the way down, further down, so you can see like these are the USPs here. Sell your car in under an hour. Avoid the hassle of a lengthy private page. When talking above the fold, it's so simple. Don't give people too many options. They can find the menu if they need to. I don't like that menu. I prefer a proper menu, like menu bar.
Yeah.
but then compare that against this. It's just a bit messy. So just narrow down the options for people. You can put stuff like this in the USP bar. You can put it further down. Just increase the space around here. This logo doesn't need to be this big. It just get my interest through your USPs, your call to action, and then I'll start to care about what your brand is, rather than trying to be in my face about this is the company. So yeah, in case in this instance, not everywhere, just like not every e-commerce store is going to be Amazon and has to copy what Amazon's design choices are, product pages look like. Not every car sales website needs to look like We Buy Any Car, but just think of this. We Buy Any Car have been around for maybe 10, 15, 20 years. I'm not even sure, but a long time. They've done a heck of a lot of customer research, conversion rate optimization. They probably spent thousands, tens of thousands on figuring out what works. Take a note out of their book and just think, what can I do to simplify my call to action as well?
Completely. And I think in a case like We Buy Any Car, it's not just going to be down to the opinions of their marketing team or the opinions of let's say, Vinny's marketing team. It's going to be down in the to A/B testing. They've probably got a lot of trials they've run over the last few years, and they've got enough users to be able to do that with a smaller site. You really actually, if you want to be statistically confident in this working better than this, you get into some very mathematical things, and you've got to have a large number of users, and a site like We Buy Any Car has got enough users to easily do A/B testing and come out with a very confident result. So exactly looking at what they've been implementing, and again that goes for many big sites as a guide point. And obviously you probably do want to put in some USP that would actually make you better than that big multinational. Quite often as a smaller company, you don't necessarily always want to be pretending you're a bigger company than you really are. Sometimes your USP is actually in the fact you're a smaller business. So you definitely want to be focusing on that, but just generally in terms of how you lay the website out, how the user interface works, we definitely want to be taking examples from those big businesses.
Yeah, but we're coming up to the end now, and before we do, I just want to highlight that sometimes you can go the complete opposite way when it comes to brand, that you might not be able to offer the same kind of USPs, or like really they might operate on very thin margins, so they can offer really competitive pricing. My brand might be the only thing you have, and you could take this route that I'm going to share on the screen now. This is becoming an incredibly famous car website, so car leasing website. So this is Ling's Cars, which is a UK website, incredibly popular in the marketing world, or in actual, they're doing a really great business. It's completely unlike any website you'll see in the same space, but they're basing it entirely around personality. And that maybe they can't offer the best deals. I mean, they say the best selling car leasing deals. They probably get to that point now, but originally may have been around brand entirely. So you can either try and compete very heavily on pricing and go that way, or you can go entirely the opposite way and go very heavily customer service. You're a smaller company. You don't have any of that passing you around or from one department to another department. You get a very personable approach, and you can, you have the best, much better customer service because you're, smaller team, one person maybe, and you can just offer so much more that a bigger brand, bigger company cannot.
just taking everything in from this webpage at the moment. There's a lot to look at when you go into detail, isn't there? There's a huge amount.
Absolutely. Oh, here we go. What have I done there? Great. That's oh my goodness. And at that point, it's probably a good time to call it quits. Thank you everyone for coming today. Thank you, Bevan, ever so much. Your knowledge is just superb, and I think that the websites have been submitted today would have learned an awful lot. If you did learn something today, and you know, please do hit like on the video here on YouTube or on Facebook or on LinkedIn if you're watching on there. If you're new to the channel on YouTube, just hit subscribe, or new to Facebook and LinkedIn, our live streams there, you can hit follow or subscribe or whichever button it says there too. It's really appreciated, and you'll be notified about future live streams as well. And we're going to be mixing them up sometime soon. We're going to not only do these live streams where we review websites, we're going to start to look at different subjects as well. So maybe looking at how to get to the top of Google, how to write incredible blog posts that earn you leads, and so on. So do hit subscribe, stick around, and thanks everyone for coming today.
Perfect. Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Take care, everyone. Bye.